Right. Hey Thor, what's up? How you doing? Protein epic. Yo, what's up, Skygo? How you doing? Nice, nice. Always enjoyed break days when I was in school. And hopefully, even as a teacher, like, you get some enjoyment out of your breaks too, I would imagine. I'm sure there's stuff you probably still need to take care of, though. Oh. Oh, that's kind of annoying. But, I don't know. At the same time, probably don't want to be in school a day later into the year. It's kind of like pick your poison. Oh, I looked away for a second and I started digging 1x2. Oh. Isn't there like an actual reason as to why they can't just like let it go? Doesn't some of it have to do with like funding or whatever? Oh, and see, like, I bet you a lot of students probably have, like, trips that are planned through that day, so they probably just can't show up regardless. Yeah, exactly. Dude, there was one year where like, I don't know what happened. There was one year, it may have been either, like, my junior or senior year of high school, where there was 10 snow days. And they were all in the month of January. Like, it was absolutely, like, you could not go outside. And I just remember, like, at a certain point, it's just kind of annoying because it's like, snow days are awesome as a kid, but then when you start realizing it's the kind of snow day that, like, even if you wanted to go outside, you literally can't. Then it becomes like, oh. It's like if you stand outside for more than 5 minutes, you will become frostbitten. It's like, okay, that's not great. Yeah, yeah, and I think that the same thing happened to me. Not quite June 30th, but pretty late into June we finished. Because, yeah, we also had like 10 snow days. It was ridiculous. It's just like, but I mean, there's not much you can really do in a scenario like that when it's like, there's a lot of kids who rely on like school buses to go like and get to school, and they literally can't stand outside when it's like -30 wind chill the entire morning. Like, you are putting kids' lives at risk just to get to school. Like, that's not happening. I would have come up sooner for me to stand on. Hmm. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, it is already mid-April, so yeah, that the end of the school year is coming up pretty quick. You know, I haven't really thought about it too much, but now that I think about it, like, I feel like the way we do breaks with schooling in the US kind of doesn't make sense, at least in like, actually making sure kids remember things they've learned kind of way. Because I certainly remember forgetting a lot of things over summer break. And I know some kids had it way worse than I did in that regard, where it was like a 3 month, 2 to 3 month break equals I forgot everything I learned, basically. It wasn't quite like that for me, but there's certainly like depending on the subject. If it was one I legit knew I would never need to remember, then I just would not remember anything. Honestly, even for subjects that it really would have been nice to remember, I still didn't remember things. Yeah. I still think, for me, high school felt more like a waste of time than actually being useful. But that was more because, like, I just struggle with forced, like, being forced into the building every day or every, weekday. For me, it wasn't the learning. The learning was the easy part. It was just I didn't want to be there physically. I probably would have loved home or online learning. Obviously, that has a lot of issues and a variety of its own problems, but yeah. And of course, now that I'm not in school at all, really, it's just the mandatory time in my life is work now. And it's like, well, work sucks, but like, I can't really do anything about that because that's like, if I don't work, I don't have a place to live and I don't have food to eat. So, uh, kind of have to suck it up and deal with that, you know? God, I can't wait to do this for another like 50 plus years and then I blow up or something. Oh, I'm not picking up any eggs. That's what was missing from my inventory. Sun explodes billions of years early. You know, I could think of worse ways to go. Yeah, that too. Like, working is, well, really depends on what kind of job you have. Because even getting money out of a job is like if your job is truly meaningless, it can still feel very meaningless. Even getting money out of it, even if it's a necessity. Like if I was doing like a corporate desk job or whatever, I'd be like, wow, my life might actually just be meaningless. I mean, I don't really like the line of work I'm in, where I'm in the food industry, but I mean, I at least have the understanding that like, you know, people need to eat every day. So like I'm doing a service in that regard. And that's something like aside from needing money to survive, something that I can think about and be like, you know, I'm doing something for my community. But I don't know, having like a desk corporate job, it's like do you get that kind of feeling? I feel like you wouldn't. You had a mythology class. Oh my god. See that's when you just start dissociating in a classroom every day and just not deal with anything that's going around in the class. Like just ignore it as best as you can and just get through it. That's awful. I think I've had like one or two classes like that before where like teacher plus combination of students equaled a terrible classroom experience. Like both the teacher and the students made it as difficult as possible to have like a good time. Oh my god. It's like, look, I get the phone policy stuff, but like just like either report it or do what you need to do. But like at a certain point, you can't hold up everything over a phone, you know? I still think kids shouldn't like have smartphones in the classroom, but like you can't use that as an excuse to basically just stop teaching for the day. There's some balance you gotta find between that. Okay, pick. Still okay. There we go. Teacher's fault. Okay. I think that is a very much a kid by kid basis. There's some kids that definitely are on their phones despite the teacher trying their best. I did not get to experience having a smartphone while I was in high school. But if I did have one, I definitely would be using my phone in the classes where I felt like I had to dissociate just to get through it. There was a few classes I had. I think like psychology was one of them because I literally just needed like a filler class. And it was also like my first period of the day, so I would just, depending on the day, I would either just I'm looking back now. I don't know how my psychology teacher just let me do this, but I would just come in and go straight to sleep for the entire the entire class period. And like my body was actually really good at waking myself up like right before the class ended. So I never like missed my next class because of it. Oh, dude, and then I was also required like one semester of PE, and dude, I'm looking back at my high school experience. So, like the classes I did not care about, I made sure that like I did the least amount of effort possible. In my PE class, I never participated in an activity once. Like in my high school PE class, because I literally was like, if I didn't want to, they never forced me to do anything. So all I did was just sit and talk with like friends the entire period. Because I had a few other people that like I was friends with at that time and also didn't want to do anything. So yeah. He's just recess. Yeah, it's a recess. It's glorified recess. I think my PE teachers didn't mind because there was enough students that actually really liked oh, that really liked the like actual class and were willing to participate every day. So they kind of just let the kids like myself just exist as long as we weren't disrupting anything, which we never did. But I never like skipped class just because like I was like that kid that would never try to like deliberately skip anything or like break rules. But I made sure like my PE teachers did not care that I was just sitting on the sidelines every day, so I was cool doing that as my way to basically skip the time or get through it. I think there actually was like one activity that like they kind of tried to have us do. I think it was like run the mile or whatever. But like I literally did not even try. I literally walked it and my PE teacher only like cared that I like was just on the track because we weren't like in the auditorium. Yeah, I mean that was the thing I hated the most in PE anyways, which was just straight up running. Like that's not an activity. That's just a workout. There's no fun. Yeah. But my PE teacher was like, look, if you just at least walk, then like there'll be no consequences. So me and like the same group of friends literally just walked and chatted And honestly, we probably ended up walking like at least 2 to 3 miles before it was time for us to go back inside. Because I think they were also doing some other activity outside after running the mile. So we actually ended up getting more physical exercise than we probably would have if we just participated in the normal class. Or at least, like, in terms of just raw number of distance moved. Obviously, it's not the same strain, but... yeah, and see, that's the thing. I feel like gym teachers, at least the gym teachers I've had in my life, did not care. Like, they were all pretty chill. I think the only one I ever had that was kind of strict in any way was my middle school one, but even then, it was more just like I wasn't allowed to just literally sit on the side, but he didn't care if, like, you know, we didn't, like, completely, like, run a mile or whatever. Strain. What's up, Wowie? How you doing? What the scallop is this guy talking about? I did not go to a school where something like that happened. Although, actually, that does remind me of something that did happen in my school. The gym, the like boys' locker room at like in my PE class was like shut down for like a week because some dude like I don't know what happened, but some kid like smeared poop everywhere in the boys' locker room, and it smelled so bad that like it was just not used for a week. You could literally smell it from the hallway. Like it was that bad. Like someone went out of their way to like smear it in every possible spot in the locker room and like I guess poop hard enough to like have it like just smell that bad. Among Us. He said Among Us. Sorry. But yeah, aside from that, nothing really ever happened at my school. I think that was like the worst thing that ever happened. Oh wait, I mean, I guess there was the time where the entire school was evacuated and told to go walk home because someone called in a bomb threat, I think. I think that happened once. But aside from that, nothing ever happened in my school. Legit. And yeah, I think it was in my senior year of high school, so that would have been around like 2017, 2016, something like that. So, yeah, like my school had like a bomb threat called to it, and then like they just told us all to go walk home. So there was just an army of like 2,000 high schoolers walking through the street, and I bet you some people thought it was like a protest or something. But no. Yeah. It's also a little messed up in retrospect because, like, the school I went to also had, like, including myself, had a really high, uh, Arab student population. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but I don't think any of the other schools in my area ever had that problem. At least not that I ever heard of. You know, sometimes the more I reflect on my life, I remember how messed up life really is. I am scarily good at repressing the bad things that happen in my life. Or just like the weird stuff as well. Doesn't always necessarily have to be bad. Honestly, Skygoat, it's probably because like there was no consequences for it back then. Or at least like people weren't immediately like caught doing it until later. At least that's the idea I have as to why that was happening a lot in that time period. Also, what's up, Pixel? How you doing? I don't know if I said hi already. Hey. You know, on the flip side, though, it's kind of insane how stuff at high schools, like insane stuff happening at high schools, doesn't happen more often. I feel like you're asking for trouble stuffing thousands of teenagers into a building, depending on the school size. Like, just teenagers are just rebellious and crazy just by nature. Or at least some can be. Especially if you just have a big enough school, there's just bound to be crazy kids. I do not envy people who have to deal with teenagers on a consistent basis. Yeah, how do you just take a toilet? Oh man, I actually just got reminded of a good memory. I remember, I think it was like 6th grade, where like for some reason they had like a typing class. Like literally the only point of the class was to learn typing on a computer. But like that was legitimately the easiest class I ever did in my life because I was already, yeah, exactly. Like I was already by that point playing computer games for legit like 10 years Or like, okay, maybe not 10, like 7, 8 years. And the best part of that class was it was literally just a typing program that had a definitive end and people could just go at their own pace. And the class was like half a year long. So half the school year, I did nothing in that class because I finished the program in like a week because it was really easy. And then after that, like my teacher was like, "Yeah, whatever, just play games or whatever on the computer. I don't really care." The teacher did not like have a plan for anything to do after we finished the typing course. Low-key, they had like the easiest job ever. Like that class was a free paycheck. That teacher legit, I think I remember actually, she was literally just on like Amazon or whatever the equivalent was back then, like eBay back then, just shopping. I would just see her shopping every day on her computer screen. Yeah, like she would legit just be online shopping. It was really funny. Yeah, I would cry if I had to show one of my YouTube videos to a classroom. So another 2 layers done. Nice, nice. iPad baby proficiency classes. Wow. Do you know what a chunk is? Oh, I was thinking more like my old Minecraft videos where I would do like Minecraft capture the flag or Minecraft soup PvP. And I would do like commentary over it. Chunk mining, yeah, I would be fine showing chunk mining. But imagine trying to explain soup PvP to people who either don't play Minecraft or don't care. And then explaining to people why I said I wombo combo dumbo guy and why I quick dropped him. Oh man. Yeah, that's like a phrase I haven't thought about forever. I think for some reason in the MCPVP community, I used to hear people, instead of just saying combo, they would also say dombo too. Like you gotta combo dombo people. And then, of course, wombo combo as well. You should make it like a 2008 YouTube tutorial, Thor. And the video's got to start with "Let the bodies hit the floor." That's what you got to do. That would go nuclear. Well, you can have that play later in the video. It's not like you only have to limit yourself to one song. Bonus points if the songs literally cut each other off, like, abruptly. Like, not even at a good point in the song. Like, mid-lyrics, it just cuts to a different song. Yeah, that would low key go hard as a how-to video. And it'd be even funnier if like literally nobody in the class got it. That would be like To me, I would just be laughing the entire time if I actually made one that was in that style. Yeah, I gotta get my hands on Windows Movie Maker again and just play around with it. I used Windows Movie Maker for way too long. I think I was still using Movie Maker in like 2018 at least. I hope there's a community of people who still only use Movie Maker. Yeah. Discontinuing Movie Maker is like it's the worst thing that's possibly ever happened in the world. No, I've never actually looked into trying to download it again. But I think it might be one of those things where it's like you have to download it from like a third party source. I'm not sure if Microsoft even has it as like an official download anymore. If they do, that's great, but I don't remember there being one because I feel like I've tried to download it before and I couldn't find it on like the Microsoft website. Maybe I'm also just making that up and I'm just having a hallucination. And also none of you are real and I'm not actually doing anything. Yeah. I love the voices in my head telling me to keep digging. The voices in my head are correct. Imagine not being real, but you're still in pain. Surely the worst outcome. Surely we're not anything like that. Hi, what's up, Wispy? Oh, have I ever mentioned to you, Thor? What's up, Charms? How you doing? I ever mentioned to you, Thor, and I guess everyone else, like, there was one time in my life I decided, I think I was 11 or 12, and it was during summer vacation, where I just decided to see how long I can physically stay up for. And I think I made it 70 hours before I decided for my own good that it was time to stop. Because I legitimately was starting to see and hear things by the third day. it was it was so bad. Like I regret doing that completely. The recovery sleep wispy, the classic. Yeah, dude. You know what's great? I remember exactly how I fell asleep too. Is that the right way to say that? I remember what I watched while I was falling asleep. I was watching an ice cream documentary. Like it was literally like how to make ice cream sandwiches or something. And I think that was so boring that my brain was finally like, okay, finally, you can go to sleep. It was great. Oh yeah, how it's made is awesome, but when I was like 10 or 11, I guess I was just not excited to see how stuff was made. But I also probably wasn't excited because I was 70 hours of being awake at that point. Yeah. I never do anything like that anymore. I haven't stayed awake for 24 hours in a couple years now. I'm not completely opposed to, like, ever doing that again, but, like, it has to be for a good reason. Allergies. Oh, yeah. Get ready to have congestion, buddy. Me when I'm adding one more lane onto a 30-lane highway in Texas. Get ready for congestion, buddy. Your eyes hurt. Oh, that's annoying. Thankfully, the only kind of allergies I seem to ever get is just congestion. Although sometimes, actually, you just reminded me, I need to make sure I blink sometimes, because I have a bad habit of just not blinking, and then I let, like, my eyes start, like, stinging, and then I have to, like, wash out my eyes. I'm Cookiesy is what I'm saying. I'm 2013 Cookiesy. I love one more lane. It really solves all of the problems. Laser eyes. Dude, it's crazy having dry eyes. But as long as I blink every so often, I don't really seem to have that issue. Like, I don't think I need eye drops, or at least if I do, it's not, like, severe enough where, like, it's hindering me on, like, 99% of days. It's really just when I do something like this, for example, where I'm, like, constantly looking at my screen or my other monitor, and I'm just, like, not blinking for extended periods of time. But yeah. It's all chill, it's all chill. Oh man. Just a heads up, guys, by the way. I don't know exactly when I'm ending stream today, but it could be anywhere from, like, the next 10 to, like, 60 minutes, depending on when the goink needs to be picked up from the job. No. The nuclear warhead is for a different day. And she will be the one launching it. Oh, speaking of launching nuclear warheads, you should let me know when you're arriving in Salt Lake, Thor. I talked about it a little bit with your girlfriend and her server. You guys should let us know in advance, because we do, depending on the day, we work long shifts. So we would like to, like, plan around that, basically. Because it would suck if you guys are here and we're stuck at work all day. And like, the work shifts we work are, like, from noon to night. So it would be, like, very inconvenient times. Yeah, so please make sure you like ideally like at least 2 weeks in advance. So that way we can either schedule time off or just find a day that works. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If your wife doesn't give you a lane of traffic as a treat, is she even a good wife? What kind of significant other doesn't give their partner terribly congested Chinese highways? It just needs to have like 60 lanes bumper to bumper for 60 miles. But yeah, it'd be cool to see you guys down in SLC sometime. What if there was a Super China? So, Taiwan? It depends on your definition of super. Yeah, people in China are already teleporting around and they're having teleportation congestion. Dude, could you imagine being able to teleport and you're still stuck in traffic? Truly dystopian nightmare level stuff. You create teleportation, but it still has congestion anyways. Okay, to be fair, if there's any country that will have people that like can shoot lasers out of their eyes, it's gonna be China. They 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 will develop the technology. I believe in them. USA could have been that country, but we decided we hate progress of any kind, so GG on that. We could have had laser eyes, but they are too focused on the stock market instead. Teleportation's kind of terrifying. I don't know how you could realistically do teleportation without, like, destroying and reassembling a person. Unless we just create, like, mini wormholes, but, like, I don't know how you make them so small that it works on the same planet. The woke left and didn't even say bye. That's a good one. The woke left in question, Sleepy Joe. Literally cannot call him woke in any sense of the word. Politically, nor reality. Guy was asleep. It's a really good edit, and it's also the kind of thing that, like, if it was actually true, I wouldn't even doubt it. Dude, I heard him. So, Joe Biden like finally said something recently. Like he did like some kind of speech or whatever. And dude, he sounds like very hard to listen to. Like he can barely speak. I mean, it's not like the current guy knows how to speak well either, but at least he sounds awake while doing it. Dude, I literally I can't listen to anything RFK Jr. says at all. Like, look, I I would be forgiving of him if he actually had something good to say, because the condition he has really sucks. But, like, because he's a terrible person and running a part of the government that he should not have any access to at all, I feel free to say that he is unlistenable. He has the worst voice ever. He finds the autism molecule. Oh, hold on. 1 second, guys. Maybe. Okay, never mind. Don't need to leave just yet, but I probably will need to leave. And like I said, any time from right now to the next like 40 minutes, probably. The mold corrupted him. Oh yeah, let's not forget about your black mold covered water bottle or whatever it was. I still can't believe you were drinking moldy water. Look. I'm still a little understanding of it because water bottles can be really annoying to clean. But like, you shouldn't have let it get to that point. Don't use a black mold water bottle. You don't need the spicy water, I promise. Do you want me to be like, yes, you should absolutely drink from the moldy water bottle 10 times a day, in fact. Okay, look, all I'm saying is I don't want to start sounding like the Secretary of Health or whatever position RFK Jr. has, telling you to drink mold water. Yeah, that's just get rid of it. It's not worth saving. Even if it is mineral buildup, it's not worth it. And I guarantee you it's not mineral buildup. I think if anything, lead. I think if anything, it was probably food buildup. Because that kind of thing can happen to water bottles as well. Like if you use it frequently after eating a meal. It depends on what color it was, though. Like if it was black, that's concerning enough, like for a buildup to be like, this might be mold. I'm sorry, you were drinking mold. You were having 1 trillion mold spores every day. Nah, but that actually reminds me, I probably want to replace my water bottle soon. Not because of mold or food buildup, just because it's not easily transportable, and it's like one that I do take with me to work every day. I would like one that I can transport a bit easier. Like it doesn't have like a thing for me to hold, like a strap or a bar or whatever. But water bottles cost money, and I don't like spending money, especially not in this economy. So maybe I will just keep going until my water bottle actually has black mold, and then I'll get rid of it. That sounds awesome, Thor. You should hang out with your black mold buddies one last time before you hit the road. So hold on, let me mine this coal. Do you have any idea where you're moving to, by the way? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Dude, imagine if your family lived in Brazil, Indiana. How would you feel? That is a real city, by the way. Brazil, Indiana. That is, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99.9% sure that's a real city in Indiana. Poland, New England. I mean, there's a Moscow in Idaho, if I remember correctly. That is pretty crazy. How did it feel being in Moscow? Did you feel communist? Yeah, I know this is not the case, but I really hope Moscow, Washington is literally just Moscow, Russia, but copy pasted. But with just extreme amounts of Soviet propaganda everywhere. Sadly, I bet it's a lot more boring and lame than that. Seattle. That's where they send all the woke. The woke void is in Seattle. Wheat fields. This guy will not be starving in the upcoming famine apocalypse, nuclear waste, meteor shower. Walk the class smells like cow manure. Great. In what? Also, is that US or Canada? Okay. Yeah, because I know you mentioned to me already that you were planning to get out of here to Canada. Also, I'm sorry, that literally does sound like it's a Japanese town name for some reason. Egg. I need the egg. Alright, how many chickens can we get? Another egg. Yeah, not that many, but more. I just heard another egg. I heard it. Am I going crazy? Whatever. Pig. Yellow knife. That sounds awesome. Also, don't worry, Pixel. You're going to be coming back to the United States in a few years anyways, or maybe even just a year. Depending on how fast they make Canada the next state. Also, message? Message? Okay. Okay, guys. I do need to get out of here pretty soon, so I am going to reach the next corner here, and then that will be it for me today. Dude, imagine wanting to join America so you could lose healthcare. Like, are you stupid or are you dumb? There's no benefits of joining this country if you already get healthcare. Like, that alone should keep you away. But, anyways, I will have to cut this conversation short here as I need to go pick up the Goink from the job.